We are talking about the nature of prostaglandins and fats and signaling and hormone health. Last we spoke, we were talking about the nature of oppositions in the body, how there's various antagonistic processes that balance each other out. You've got blood vessels opening and blood vessels closing. They call it constriction and dilation, closing and opening and closing, and these are all regulated by prostaglandins partially. You've got relaxing and contracting of muscles, once again, regulated by prostaglandins, and perhaps most significantly in terms of opposing chemistry in the body, you've got inflammation and anti-inflammation, once again, regulated at least partially by prostaglandins. Prostaglandins are signaling molecules that hormones like. If you understand what hormones are, they're like little doorbell switches, or they ring a doorbell, I should say, on a cell, and by ringing that doorbell, a reaction occurs in a cell. A cell's like a 3D printing machine. It's always printing stuff. It's making things. That's what a cell does with its life. It makes stuff. But it doesn't just make stuff willy-nilly. It doesn't just make stuff on its own. It makes stuff in response to little switches being turned on the outside coating of that cell. Those switches that get turned on are called receptors, and what turns on the switches are called hormones. And there's lots of different hormones. The ones we've been talking about now are called prostaglandins, and they're super important, especially, as I say, for the inflammatory process. Inflammation, as we are told, is behind a lot of what we call the disease process. But what this health truism about inflammation and disease doesn't really address is the fact that the inflammatory process is always occurring. Inflammation at the microscopic level is very, very important. It's not a bad guy. Excessive inflammation, out of balance inflammation, inappropriate inflammation, chronic inflammation, long-term inflammation. Indeed, that is a problem. But inflammation that occurs on a day-to-day, regular basis as part of the body's a way of doing business, just business as usual for the body, is just a normal protective response, and it's part of the healing process, and it's an important part of biochemistry. The relationship between anti-inflammation and inflammation is a balancing act. It's a balancing act between inflammation and anti-inflammation, and this balancing act is supposed to be regulated by the appropriate production and the appropriate ingestion of substances that induce the production of prostaglandins. That's basically food. It's basically food, and these days supplements, that are going to induce the production of prostaglandins and induce the production of the right balance of prostaglandins. Throughout history, and by throughout history I mean up until about 10,000 or 12,000 years ago, throughout most of human or humanoid history, our ancestors weren't exactly Homo sapiens, but our ancestors, Australopithecus and Homo habilis, and whatever they call these human ancestors back in the day, 100,000 years ago, 500,000 years ago, our ancestors were eating a balance of foods, or the type of foods that provided the appropriate balance of prostaglandin-inducing substances, specifically fats. We ate a lot of fish, we ate nuts, we ate natural foods that were growing out of the ground, and these kinds of foods provided us with the right balance of prostaglandin-inducing nutrients. These days, however, beginning around 12,000 years ago, actually, as food processing kicked in, our dietary intake of the wrong kinds of fats, the wrong kinds of prostaglandins, or out of balance, I should say, prostaglandin-inducing foods, has been progressing throughout the years, and it really has been progressing the last couple hundred years. We eat way more of the kinds of foods that induce inflammatory hormones, inflammatory prostaglandins, than anti-inflammatory prostaglandins, and this is mostly actually, where this out of balance, this out of kilter relationship between inflammatory chemicals and anti-inflammatory chemicals kicks in. The relationship between these chemicals, basically a relationship between omega-6 fats and omega-3 fats, is really about prostaglandins. Without getting too technical and too much biochemistry or chemistry, omega-6 fats get converted into inflammatory prostaglandins. Omega-3 fats get converted into anti-inflammatory prostaglandins. Your omega-6 fats are found in grains and seed oils. corn and safflower and soy, the kind of foods most of us are eating these days. Your omega-3s, much rarer, much harder to find, and those are basically in fish and some seeds, hemp seed, flax seed, chia seeds. Those are good sources of omega-3s. You'll get some omega-3s in spirulina and plankton and seaweed as well. There's some omega-3s in sprouts too. So back in the day, and by back in the day I mean 100,000, 150,000, 200,000 years ago, our ancestors were eating foods that gave them a kind of balance, an appropriate balance between omega-6s and omega-3s. Over the last 12,000 years or so, as we figured out how to farm and we figured out agriculture, certainly we get more calories and we're not starving. We don't go through famines like we did back in the day. But what we are doing is we're getting way more omega-6s, omega-6 fatty acids than omega-3 fatty acids, and that ends up causing problems with inflammation. By the way, there's one exception to this omega-6 causes inflammatory chemicals hypothesis or theory, and that is GLA, which we talked about yesterday. GLA is an omega-6 oil, but GLA actually is responsible for anti-inflammatory processes, unlike the other omega-6s, and I'll tell you what I mean when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. 855-660-4261 is our number. We'll be back right after this.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
There's a man named Dr. Joel Wallach who is anything but your typical doctor, both a veterinarian and naturopathic physician. Doc asks, why does the United States spend more money on healthcare by far and still rank 50th in health and longevity worldwide? He believes that people should empower themselves with a basic understanding of nutrition, take charge of their health, and attain optimal health and longevity through nutrition, not by toxic prescription drugs that lead to side effects and more toxic prescription drugs. Doc Wallach's message is resonating with an increasing number of Americans who are waking up to all the big government, big pharma, and big insurance manipulation of our healthcare system. I'm George Norrie, and I like what Doc Wallach is saying and doing to enlighten people about health care. Visit brightsideben.com and listen to Doc Wallach's Deadly Recipes lecture. It makes a lot of sense, and I urge you to join the Brightside Ben team. Go to brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Okay, open your mouth and say ah.
Ah. When your child has a sore throat, you need to know when to get help. The doctor recommended Say Ah Sore Throat Exam is your solution. The scientifically designed oral retractor offers a clear view of the throat, relaxing the tongue and minimizing gag reflex. Compare with the medical grade chart, website, and app. Then you'll know just what to tell your doctor. A wellness plan in your hands in minutes. Go to SayAHHnow.com. SayAhNow.com, the new mainstay for every family's first aid kit.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Okay, open your mouth and say ah.
Ah. When your child has a sore throat, you need to know when to get help. The doctor recommended Say Ah Sore Throat Exam is your solution. The scientifically designed oral retractor offers a clear view of the throat, relaxing the tongue and minimizing gag reflex. Compare with a medical grade chart, website, and app. Then you'll know just what to tell your doctor. A wellness plan in your hands in minutes. Go to SayAhHNow.com. SayAhNow.com, the new mainstay for every family's first aid kit.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to produce an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly, where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
Virtually anyone can hack your cell phone and track your calls, your texts, your emails, your every movement, but only if they can detect a signal. Stay one step ahead of hackers and Big Brother with a Block-It Pocket, a custom-made pocket infused with pure silver that creates a complete Faraday enclosure for your cell phone. For free shipping to the lower 48, visit blockitpocket.com or call 888-315-9618. blockitpocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
If you're like me, you're concerned about the stock market and the economy. You're asking the questions, but it just doesn't seem that you're getting the right answers. Well, my friends at the Wealth Preservation Institute not only have the answers, but they've put together a free report, How to Survive the Upcoming Economic Collapse and Protect Your 401ks, IRA savings, and retirement income. Don't hesitate. This report's for free for a limited time by calling 888-772-2929. That's 888-772-2929. Take back your financial lives today.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
All whey protein powders are not created equal. Fresh liquid whey has been used for hundreds of years to restore health to the sick and youth to the aging. Why is it that no one reports these benefits from today's whey protein powders? It is because they are all processed with heat or chemicals, which damages the protein and amino acids, making them allergy-causing or toxic to your body. One World Whey's True Cool process retains all the powerful properties of fresh raw whey in a concentrated powder. My name is Stephen Hewer. As a degreed nutritionist, my goal is to make you healthy in as short a time and as affordably as possible. One World Whey is speeding up the process of helping people get healthy and is replacing the need for many other supplements, making it more affordable. To learn how One World Whey may help you with fat loss, the elimination of inflammation and pain, detoxification of heavy metals, intestinal health, brain function, and increases in strength, energy, and muscle size, call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworldwhey.com.
Okay. So we're talking fatty acids, essential fatty acids, their relationship to the balance of inflammation, anti-inflammation, omega-6s, and this is a generalization here. Omega-6s can generally be considered to be inflammatory, not in a bad way, not in a bad way. This is real important because we always talk about inflammation in a bad way. But inflammation also is part of the healing process. In fact, we need more inflammatory chemistry than we do anti-inflammatory chemistry. Inflammatory chemistry is involved in keeping cuts from hemorrhaging, for closing wounds, for accelerating the healing process. And anti-inflammation, of course, is also important. And it's this relationship or balance between the two that keeps us maximally healthy. It should come as no surprise to anybody who's paying attention to our health crisis in this country, that we are way more inflamed than anti-inflamed. Way more inflamed than anti-inflamed. This is partially related to the fact that we get way more pro-inflammatory fats than anti-inflammatory fats. The anti-inflammatory fats are a little hard to find in nature, but pro-inflammatory fats are all over the place. Omega-6s, as I said, are generally pro-inflammatory, with the exception of GLA, which we spent a lot of time talking about yesterday. Gamma-linolenic acid, which is a type of omega-6 fat. It is anti-inflammatory. They call it the GLA paradox, the fact that GLA is anti-inflammatory, even though most omega-6s are pro-inflammatory. And this pro-inflammatory, causing inflammation, anti-inflammatory balance is regulated by prostaglandins. Omegas get turned into prostaglandins. Omegas are your source of prostaglandins, 6s and 3s. You got just like you have pro-inflammatory omegas, omega-6s, and anti-inflammatory omegas, you have pro-inflammatory prostaglandins and anti-inflammatory prostaglandins. The prostaglandins that you get from that are involved in inflammation, you get from omega-6s. With the notable exception, as I say, of GLA, which is anti-inflammatory. The ones that are anti-inflammatory, those are omega-3s. That's why you'll hear nutritionists and dietitians and alternative practitioners talking about too much inflammation as being caused by the ingestion of omega-6 containing oils. Omega-3 containing oils, which are much harder to find, those are anti-inflammatory. It's generally understood that we should be getting anywhere from 1 part, maybe 2 parts, or 3, anywhere from 1 to 3 or 4 parts omega-6s for every 1 part omega-3. Nobody really knows exactly for sure, but it's somewhere in the vicinity, in the area of 1:1 to 4:1 ratio. 1:1 to 4:1 ratio between omega-6s and omega-3s. That's an appropriate balance, even though nobody knows exactly how much we need. And day-to-day real life, there's lots of factors that will influence the need of omega-6s and omega-3s. If you have a liver problem, if you have an autoimmune disease, if you have a problem metabolizing fats, all of these are going to affect how the ratios, or the appropriate ratio for you. If we're growing fast, kids, if you're healing from surgery, you're going into surgery, you're exercising, you're building muscle, you probably need more omega-6s. If you're sitting down on your butt most of the day, or if you have a sedentary lifestyle, you're sitting down on the job, you're not exercising, you probably need less omega-6s than omega-3s. So it's anywhere from 1:1 to 4:1 ratio. Higher if you're healing, or if you're exercising, or you got some kind of or if you're growing, you're a kid. Less, the ratio will be less if you have a sedentary lifestyle, or if you're older and you're not necessarily building muscle. If you're not getting enough antioxidants, you should probably be using less amounts of omega-6s. These fats are unstable and they're easily destroyed by oxidation. So if you're not eating your vegetables, you're not supplementing with your Mighty 90 nutrients, you probably don't want to take as many omega-6s. You probably want a lower ratio of omega-6s to omega-3s. And also, sometimes essential fatty acids, your omega-6s and omega-3s, can be displaced by crappy fats, lousy fats, processed fats, hydrogenated fats, trans fats, which is what a lot of us are eating. So the more of those kinds of fats, the more French fry fats, candy bar fats, chips, and fried food fats that you're eating, the greater your need for essential fatty acids is going to be, both omega-6s and omega-3s. And you're going to need more omega-6s if you're not converting your omega-6s into GLA. Remember, GLA, super mega important form of omega-6s, needs to be converted or manufactured from your food oils. So you eat your food oils, you take your Ultimate EFA supplements, your body has to be able to convert those omega-6s into GLAs, and not everybody can do that, especially if you're diabetic, or especially if you're pre-diabetic, or especially if you have dysglycemia, messed up blood sugar. It's going to be difficult for you to make your own GLA. It's going to be difficult for you to convert your omega-6s into GLAs, which means a couple of things. If you're diabetic or pre-diabetic or blood sugar problems, or if you're eating a lot of bad, crappy fats, you need more omega-6 fats, and it's probably a good idea to supplement with borage oil like you get in the Ultimate EFA and EFA Pluses, just to make sure that you're getting this uber, super, crazy important form of omega-6s called GLA. So if you're diabetic, blood sugar problems, dysglycemia, messed up blood sugar, you're probably not going to be converting your omega-6 fats into GLA as effectively. That means more omega-6s are probably required. That means more Ultimate EFAs and more Ultimate Essential Fatty Acid Plus capsules if you're diabetic. I tell everybody I recommend 3 capsules 3 times a day, but if you've got blood sugar problems or diabetes, or if you're eating a lot of lousy fats, you probably want to take more rather than less of your Ultimate EFAs or Ultimate EFA Pluses. So nobody really knows exactly how much you need in terms of EFAs on a daily basis or in terms of the balance of omega-6s to omega-3s, but the more lousy fat you get, the more lousy fat you're eating, the more health conditions or health challenges you have, or the more diabetes you have, the more essential fatty acids total you're going to need, and the more omega-6s compared to omega-3s you're going to need as well. Okay, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're coming back with your phone calls. 855-660-4261 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. I want to sum up this idea of omega-6s and omega-3s, and we'll just finish up, tie up a few loose ends tomorrow, and then we'll talk about our next really important signaling hormone molecule, one that comes from nitrogen. A little clue for you there. And one that's related to the amino acid that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, and that's arginine. We'll talk about that tomorrow. I just want to just wind this thing down here on prostaglandins and essential fatty acids. You've got 2 kinds of essential fatty acids. You've got omega-6s, which are said to be pro-inflammatory, not in a bad way, although excessive amounts of omega-6s can theoretically cause too much inflammation. They're supposed to be balanced with omega-3 fats, which are related to anti-inflammation and anti-inflammatory prostaglandins, with the exception of GLA, which is omega-6 and has wonderful anti-inflammatory properties, especially for the skin. You can use GLA topically right on the skin. You can use GLA internally as a supplement. If you take your Ultimate EFAs, you're going to get GLA in the borage oil. That's one of Dr. Wallach's one of more clever moves in formulating the longevity products is using borage oil in the Ultimate EFA Pluses. You get 19 milligrams of GLA in the Ultimate EFA Plus for all inflammatory issues, you guys, and for all autoimmune issues, and for all building issues. You want to focus on fats, especially your Ultimate Essential Fatty Acid capsules. If you have problems absorbing fats, then you're going to want to make extra sure that you're using your Ultimate enzymes, lecithin, bile salts, with your Ultimate EFAs to make sure you're absorbing these Ultimate Essential Fatty Acids. And then tomorrow we'll just wind down and tell you about a couple other nutrients that are associated with prostaglandins that help your prostaglandins work better, especially if you have autoimmune disease. There's a major connection between prostaglandins and autoimmune disease, which means essential fatty acids and autoimmune disease. And we'll finish that up tomorrow on The Bright Side. Okay, time to hit our phones, 855-660-4261. Welcome to The Bright Side. Ann in Pennsylvania, what's going on?
Hi, Ben. I just wondered, what do you recommend for menopausal symptoms?
Lots of things for menopausal symptoms. Most importantly is going to be your fats and fatty vitamins. When women get older, when we all get older, but especially after menopause and with women, fat absorption tends to be compromised, problems absorbing fats. So the first thing to think about for women who are going through menopause, perimenopause, premenopause, or menopause, or postmenopause, is using your ultimate essential fatty acids, all your fats really, ultimate essential fatty acids with enzymes, because you got to make sure you're absorbing these things. And then, as I've said a lot of times in this program, but it bears repeating, there's a major connection between probiotics and fat absorption and fat metabolism, especially when it comes to fatty hormones like estrogen. So everybody needs probiotics, but especially post-menopause or perimenopause or during menopause, biolumin nightly essence, fermented foods, anything you could do to support bacterial growth, bacterial balance in the intestine is going to be in your interest. So fats, ultimate EFAs, probiotics, as well as fat metabolizing nutrients like digestive enzymes and bile salts, apple cider vinegar, lecithin, etc. Also, fatty vitamins are very important. In fact, vitamins E and A are a menopausal woman's best vitamin friends, vitamin E and A, and their associated minerals, magnesium, selenium, calcium, and zinc. These are associated with fatty vitamins. So fatty vitamins as well as minerals, vitamins E and A particularly. Also vitamin K, somewhat underappreciated fatty vitamin, is important for helping build strong bones and important for helping the body and cells utilize calcium, and vitamin K deficiencies are somewhat common. So vitamin K is also important. Making sure you're out in the sun to get your vitamin D, really important. And then one of the most underappreciated, in my opinion, one of the most underappreciated strategies for keeping menopausal, postmenopausal women healthy is stabilizing blood sugar, keeping your blood sugar stable, using blood sugar stabilizing techniques like eating more protein, eating more good fat, especially coconut oil and butter, and reducing your intake of fast-burning, insulin-spiking foods. Hot flashes are like the body's cry for blood sugar stabilization. Hot flashes are almost an exact symptom of what occurs in the body when blood sugar is off. So, and menopausal symptoms, hot flashes, night sweats, anxiety, those kinds of things. Stabilizing the blood sugar is very important. That means the sweeties, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, as well as making sure you're getting more fat, more protein, and less insulin spiking foods. Those are the two areas that I would be focusing on. Fatty vitamins, essential fatty acids, and minerals that are associated with fats, and then stabilizing the blood sugar. If you want a couple other things, use some pregnenolone or progesterone cream. Both of those have a balancing effect on estrogen. Pregnenolone and progesterone cream. After menopause, progesterone levels tend to drop really fast. Estrogen, you're always making a little bit of estrogen. As long as you have body fat, you're always making a little bit of estrogen. But progesterone, that drops like a stone. And progesterone has a nice relaxing effect on the body, while estrogen has a kind of jittery effect on the body. So using progesterone or pregnenolone capsules, 100 milligrams or so, can be helpful. Making sure that you're getting adequate rest, adequate sleep, deep breathing techniques, those are also going to be very important as well. Lots of other things you could do too. There's herbs that you can use. Dong Quai is a nice herb. Vitex is a good herb. Red clover is a good herb for helping improve menopausal symptoms too. But I'd be focusing on fats, fatty vitamins, minerals that are associated with those fatty vitamins, and then blood sugar stabilization or blood sugar control.
And what about bioidentical hormones?
I'm telling you, I don't buy into that. I do not buy. Yeah, I'll tell you why. First of all, bioidentical. If anybody says bioidentical to you, they either don't know what they're talking about or they're trying to sell you something, because there's no such thing as bioidentical. You can't be bioidentical. What they call bioidentical is 3 hormones that are the primary hormones in the body, primary estrogens in the body. But that's not bioidentical. That's just the 3 most important estrogens in the body. And there's many estrogens. We call estrogen we refer to a hormone called estrogen, but really estrogen is a family of hormones. And the three main ones are called estrone, estradiol, and estriol. And so when they say bioidentical, they mean they give you all three, as opposed to just giving you estradiol, or as opposed to giving you Premarin or a fake estrogen. They give you these three main ones. But that doesn't mean it's bioidentical. That just means it's the three main ones. You see what I'm saying? Bioidentical implies like you're getting the exact same thing that your body uses. Horse hockey, that's marketing. And there should be no place for marketing in healthcare, in my opinion, especially when it comes to drugs and comes to medication. So I don't know, it really kind of ticks me off a little bit when we talk about bioidentical hormones. Now, when you take your estrogen, because estrogen is kind of like a stress management hormone, you may feel better in the short run. But get your package insert out. That is the little a side effect profile that they give you with all drugs, and read the side effects and adverse reactions associated with so-called bioidentical estrogen. You'll see things like blood clots and heart attacks and cancer, breast cancer particularly, cysts and growths and fibroids, all associated with so-called bioidentical hormones. So I'm not a big believer in them. I'm not a woman, so obviously I'm not going to be taking them, and you have to make your own decision. But in my humble opinion, go with the fats, go with the fatty vitamins, and by fats I mean essential fatty acids. Go with the fatty vitamins, your fatty minerals. Use some progesterone or pregnenolone, and then make sure you're stabilizing the blood sugar, and you'll be a lot better off, in my opinion. Okay, if you are going to use the bioidentical hormones, make sure you're balancing it with progesterone. Progesterone cream can help balance out and mitigate some of the negative effects, some of the adverse effects associated with bioidentical hormones. Pregnenolone can do the same thing, or similar to progesterone. Okay, got to move on. Thank you for your call, Ann. Appreciate it. God bless. Have a beautiful day. If you're on hold, hang tight. We'll get to you when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We are back on The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Sherry in Arizona. What's cooking? Welcome to The Bright Side.
Hi, Dr. Ben. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Not a doctor, though. Just a plain old pharmacist. Little old pharmacist.
I know, but you're great. You're close enough. That's better than any other ones I've ever met.
Thank you. I appreciate it. What's going on?
Listen, my friend, my husband has Crohn's, and and he's on prednisone and has been.
And it's helping him a lot, probably. It's cured his Crohn's disease, right? No?
Well, we only wish that would be a cure.
Really? Oh, so yes, but
our problem is because he's not getting any better. I mean, we've got him upright and the swelling's down, and we only have him on 10 milligrams of prednisone where we used to have him on 60.
60 milligrams. That's huge. That's a huge dose.
It is huge. It is huge, my friend. Okay. And it causes a lot of problems inside the body, which we're fighting those as well. I listen to you every day, and I get a lot of really good advice about the GI tract. However,
yes,
I just found out yesterday that prednisone is wiping out his intestinal flora.
Isn't that intelligent? Isn't that an intelligent medical strategy that doctors use?
It really pisses me off.
Of course it does.
To be honest,
you should have your own show then, because it pisses me off too, and that's why I do this. Yeah. It really ticks me off. How dare a boneheaded... They give you prednisone for your Crohn's disease, which destroys your digestive system, which is what Crohn's disease does. This is the numbskull nature of our modern medical model. All right, I don't want to get all freaked out here, so let's just cut to the chase.
I know. I've heard you many times talk about it. And it's absurd. Scared, and I do my own fermenting. I do all his own cooking. He doesn't eat anything unless I give it to him from what I make with my research and all, of course, you and Dr. Wallach's help.
Okay.
Now,
you want me to help you out here? Let me just cut to the chase here. I'll help you.
I absolutely need your help, my friend.
Crohn's disease is an eating disease. It affects. It's just a digestive tract issue. Now, I'm assuming your husband's probably in his 50s or 60s at this point, correct?
My husband's 48 years old.
Okay, so he's got some time. He's got decades of kind of messing up the digestive tract, and it's going to take some time to turn this thing around completely. But he can begin to turn it around right away. First and foremost, if I was him, I'm just telling you what I would be doing. I'd be fasting for a couple couple of days and then starting to reintroduce foods to resensitize the body to these foods or resensitize his perception. In other words, he'll notice things more. If he's eating the same foods over and over and over again, he may not be noticing the effects those specific foods are having on his specific symptoms. But if he stops eating for a couple days, then reintroduces those foods, that's going to resensitize his awareness or his perception to what the foods are doing to his body. Does that make sense? You do it over and over.
I heard you talk about that, but I heard you also say we needed to drink something while we're doing that.
Water for a couple days. For your husband at the age of 48 with Crohn's disease. And by the way, for the listeners, you can't imagine anything more miserable to have to go through than Crohn's disease, where you're always looking for a bathroom, and you've got diarrhea all the time and cramping and bloating and pain, and it's just I can't think of a more miserable curse to have to deal with on a regular basis. That's for the listeners. I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about here. So you want stopping, as soon as he stops eating, he's going to immediately, the healing process will immediately kick in. All right, even between meals, the healing process will kick in. But if he stops eating for a couple of days, then he's going to get some good healing. At least it'll begin. Then you start to reintroduce foods. Now, if he wants to do the Swear V cleanse, that can kind of get him through the fasting procedure. If he finds it difficult to fast, do 6 bottles a day, a bottle every half hour, 6 bottles a day, and that'd be 6 bottles a day if it's a 12-hour day, a bottle every half hour, and that'll get him through 2 or 3 days of fasting. Then he reintroduces
water.
No, Swear V. Swear V. Oh. It's a Swear V. It's a Beyond Organic product that you'll find on my website. It's called Swear V. I just completed a 3-day fast Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of last week, and it was a breeze. It was super easy using the Swear V. Okay. So that's first of all. Now, if he fasts for 2 or 3 days, he's going to find immediate relief. Immediate relief. That alone is going to make a huge difference. Now, once he starts,
Crohn's people are afraid of that. Doesn't
matter if he's afraid of it. Is he afraid of Crohn's? You know, which is better? Which is better?
Well, you don't know. When you're sick, you don't know.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is my recommendation. He can do whatever he wants. Okay. My recommendation is he doesn't put anything in the system. Think about it this way: you're constantly bombarding the system with foods, the intestine with foods, and Crohn's disease is an intestinal issue. You're constantly putting foods in. When does the intestine have a chance to recover?
Never. I've
Never.
been telling him this.
Exactly. So we got to give
they're afraid.
Well, I can't help him with that. I'm not a hypnotist. You know, I can't help him with his fear. I can only give you some recommendations for nutrition and food. If he's afraid, he's afraid. Right. God love him. Right. You know, there's nothing I can do about that. Right. So anyway, and this is not just for you, by the way. It's for anybody listening who has Crohn's issues. It's very simple. This is the bottom line. It's an eating disorder. Stop eating. The disorder will improve. Now, you obviously have to keep eating. You can't not eat forever. But if you stop eating for a little bit, a couple of days, 3 days, and if you fast 1 day a week or 2 days a week, it's not going to hurt you, and your body will have a chance to recover. The liquid portion is the liquid part, which you alluded to, is very important, because if he can spend more of his calories or get more of his calories from liquid nutrients, that also is going to reduce the load on the digestive tract. This is what we're doing here. We're reducing the burden. You see what I'm saying? We're reducing the load on the digestive tract. Picture his intestine as a baby who's been traumatized, a baby who's been a World War II baby. You know, you ever watch these old documentaries on World War II? You'll see little kids, and they've been traumatized the rest of their life. They spent their whole life traumatized. That's what your husband's intestine is like. It's like a baby who's traumatized. So what do you do when a baby's traumatized? You cuddle it, you nurture it, you love it, you reduce all the stresses and burdens from the baby so the baby can calm down. Well, your husband's intestine is like a baby. It needs to be calmed down. The next important thing is fermented foods and probiotics. I'd be using sounds like you're already doing that. If he's not on the Biolumin Nightly Essence, though, you might want to try that one. That's my favorite probiotic. 3 capsules in the morning, 3 at night. If he's not on the Fucoidin Z, it's a must-have for Crohn's disease, okay?
Okay, wait a minute. Z.
Fucoidin Z. Fucoidin Z. I'll spell it for you, okay? I'll spell it. It's F as in Frank, U as in Uncle, C as in Cat, O as in Oscar, I as in Igloo, D as in David, A as in Apple, N as in Nancy, Z. Fucoidin Z. It's made with brown algae, which contains fucoidin, which has a wonderful stimulating effect on the cells of the intestine. It can help accelerate healing. It also has a nice coating effect on the digestive system, and that'll help soothe and improve the functioning and the health of the digestive tract. And along those same lines, aloe vera and noni can also help. You can get some noni juice off off my website at brightsideben.com. You can use aloe juice as well. Both of those have a nice coating and soothing effect. Central fatty acids, EFAs, mega important for digestive health, especially the health of the intestine. He should be using 9 capsules a day. If he has a problem absorbing his essential fatty acids, then have him use those with digestive enzymes. The Ultimate Enzymes are a good digestive enzyme. And always wash down your Ultimate Enzymes with apple cider vinegar. Anything he could do to pre-digest his food, and by that I mean grinding them up in a blender or a food processor or using smoothies. Also, bone soup has a wonderful effect on the digestive tract as well. Basically, you're taking it easy on the digestive system. Last but not least, the Healthy Start Pack, sipping, and that's very important for people with Crohn's disease, sipping on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, not trying to do it all at once. If he notices, and sometimes people with Crohn's disease will notice that they have bile issues or problems absorbing fatty substances, then he's going to want to use some lecithin with all his meals, as well as perhaps some bile salts. And I mentioned it once, but I'll say it again. Make sure he's using some apple cider vinegar after all his meals as well. Basically, you're taking the load or the burden off of his intestine, allowing his intestine to heal and recover, and using nutrients that help soothe the intestine, as well as improve the production or the health of the cells of the intestine. One last thing, I know I gave you a lot of information, but one last thing, glutamine powder. Glutamine is like fuel for enterocytes. Enterocytes is the fancy way of saying digestive cells or intestinal cells. And glutamine powder functions specifically as fuel, as gasoline, as energy, as food, as nutrition, specifically for the cells of the intestine. So maybe a half a teaspoonful to a teaspoonful of glutamine powder stirred up in water and drink it once a day. That alone can make a huge difference for digestive health issues. And by the way, that's by no means comprehensive, even though I gave you a ton of information. There's lots more you can do, but that's a great start for you, okay? Thanks for calling.
A lot of this that I have been doing, been running down his food and stuff, making his digestive tract not have to work so hard, giving him regular foods, easy to digest foods, that kind of stuff.
Any improving? Are you noticing that it's helping his symptoms? That's the key.
It is, but I need to get his intestinal flora back, and I'm not sure how to do that other than what you just said.
Get a book called The Art.
Symptoms down. Symptoms down.
Hang on, Sherry, I got to go. We're running out of time, but let me tell you one last thing. Get a book called The Art of Fermentation. The Art of Fermentation. It's a wonderful cookbook with lots of great recipes. It's really easy to understand, easy to use, and it can give you some great ideas for fermented foods, making your own fermented foods. The Art of Fermentation. Thanks for your call. It's all the time we have. I apologize for that, Sherry, and I apologize if we left you on hold, but you got to call in early on the bright side so we can get to all your calls. Anyway, thanks for listening. Tomorrow we'll finish up on our talk on prostaglandins. We'll talk about a couple other nutrients that are important for helping prostaglandins work effectively. If you have an autoimmune disease especially, these can be important. Thanks for listening, folks. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have a wonderful, awesome, beautiful day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey Guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey Guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products, most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
Are you still looking for that one iodine that you can really trust? A medical doctor endorsed product that is backed by honest research and true integrative science? Then search no further. Go to NutriMedical.com for Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutriodine, proven time and time again to be the very best iodine available for you. Nutriodine is the only Tesla-activated monatomic plasma iodine in the world. It optimizes mitochondrial function and generation of new mitochondria, from totally neutralizing the venom from a desert recluse spider bite in southern Southern California to eliminating malaria parasites reported by medical missionaries in central India. Dr. Bill's Nutriodine is simply the most powerful healing formula there is. Nutriodine clears the body of all known pathogens, restores it to an alkaline state, and even promotes stem cell regeneration. Order Dr. Bill's Nutriodine today at 888-212-8871 or visit us online at nutrimedical.com.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
And Fuchs is a registered pharmacist who understands how important the B complex of vitamins is for maintaining a healthy heart. That's why he drinks Pollen Burst from Youngevity's complete line of nutritional supplements.
Pollen Burst has got the B vitamins in there, and the B vitamins are so fascinating because most people are going to be deficient in the B vitamins because they're rapidly processed out of food. And the B vitamins work on the brain, the heart, the skin, and the digestive system. When it comes to heart disease, we got 600,000 people in this country who die of heart disease every year. Some 64 million Americans have some form of heart disease. The B vitamins, a nickel's worth of B vitamins every day, is the most powerful nutritional way to protect yourself from heart disease.
To feed your heart the nutrients it needs for good health, order Youngevity's Pollen Burst by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470. Or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
Hi, I'm Rick Ossick with Famous Footwear. Did you know that premature birth is the #1 killer of babies? That's why we support the March of Dimes in the fight against premature birth. Join us in supporting cutting-edge research, treatment programs, and outreach to help moms have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. Learn how you can help save babies' lives at marchofdimes.org.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts. None. You'll get award-winning 24/7 protection. Security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.
Just recently, we've witnessed some of the most catastrophic disasters in history. Be sure to prepare yourself with great-tasting, high-quality, GMO-free food that has a 25-year shelf life. Of course, we're talking about the foods from SurvivalFoodAlliance.com. And don't forget, the human body needs up to 3 quarts of water every day to remain healthy and hydrated. So check out our water bricks at SurvivalFoodAlliance.com. Go to SurvivalFoodAlliance.com or call 877-223-1776.